No mai haere mai, welcome to 3 News. Questions are growing tonight over just how much damage the US strikes have inflicted on Iran. Donald Trump says his B-2 bombers hit the bullseye, but with the damage mostly contained underground, it's hard to ascertain just how severely the nuclear facilities have been impacted. And new images suggest Iran had already moved its uranium stockpiles as a precaution. It comes as Trump today declared a regime change in Iran is possible and called a national security meeting in the Oval Office, unexpectedly delaying his trip to the NATO summit. Senior correspondent Lisette Raymond reports.
This plume of smoke has detonated dread across the globe and supercharged tensions across the Middle East. Filmed by an Iranian reporter, it is the first look at Operation Midnight Hammer, an explosive show of US military might.
Final battle damage will take some time, but initial battle damage assessments indicate that all 3 sites sustained extremely severe damage and destruction.
That assessment by America's most senior general, subtly but notably different to the president's, who first declared the nuclear facilities were
totally obliterated.
The B-2 stealth bombers returned to their base in Missouri today, 37 hours after the audacious attack, which saw them use decoys and refuel mid-flight to then penetrate Iran's airspace undetected. The US struck 3 locations, Tomahawk missiles fired from a submarine to hit a research centre, while the so-called bunker buster bombs were dropped on 2 underground nuclear sites. At Fordo, the most vital of the 3, satellite images now reveal craters where the bombs hit. But this satellite image is pulling focus, revealing an unusual queue of trucks near Fordo weeks ago, sparking suspicion Iran had already moved all of its enriched uranium, preempting an attack.
This mission was not and has not been about regime change.
There's a differing of perspective on that point too. Trump has since posted that if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? Iran's arsenal is thought to be severely depleted. After a week of war, they've fired hundreds of missiles, and Israel claims to have destroyed half of its missile launches. Still, the regime is warning of endless consequences, furious at Trump for slamming shut the 2-week diplomatic window just 2 days in.
The door for diplomacy should be always keep open, but this is not the case right now. My country has been under attack, under aggression, and we have to respond.
What could that look like? While many of the 20 US bases in the region are within range of Iran's missiles, it could also use proxies such as Kataib Hezbollah in Iraq to hit back, or its allies the Houthis could reactivate their attacks on ships in the Red Sea. Already, Iran's parliament has voted to close the key Strait of Hormuz, which would hamstring global trade. Yet across American networks,
this was the right call at the right time.
All the president's men are cheerleading the moves made by their commander-in-chief.
We were over the ocean before they figured out what had happened.
I think that we have really pushed their program back by a very long time.
The UK has been diplomatic.
It is important that we now de-escalate the situation.
But France is urging the US to show restraint. New Zealand is calling for dialogue.
We do not want to see a nuclear-armed Iran.
Russia has labelled it an irresponsible violation of international law, and China has strongly condemned it. Donald Trump's decision has triggered alarm the world over, but Iran's next move could be even more momentous.
Okay, kia ora, Lisette. So we've since heard more from President Trump and also from Iran.
That's right. Trump is doing as Trump does and posting on Truth Social. His latest comments are doubling down on that original statement, saying that an obliteration is the accurate term for what has occurred. He's described it, as you've mentioned, as a bullseye that hit on those nuclear sites. Iran, for its part, the foreign minister is currently in Moscow. They've announced that he will be having a meeting with Putin. Washington, and they will be discussing what have been described as common challenges and threats. What's interesting to note, Sam, though, is that unlike this time yesterday when there was a barrage of retaliation, so far overnight, bear in mind Iran and Israel are only just waking up, the reports are that there was only one missile fired from Iran to Israel.
OK, Lisette, thank you for that update.